Hello neighbor, this is Curt with etrailer, and today we're taking a look at the Thule T2 Pro XTR bike rack, and we're going to see how it works with our 2024 GMC Terrain. Now the T2 Pro XTR is a wheel-mounted bike rack that is going to offer 60 pounds per tray weight capacity, so it will be able to accommodate a lot of those e-bikes that are out on the market today. It's got a lot of really great features to it that help it fit with our terrain, so let's take a look. So again, this is wheel mounted. There are really 2 points of contact. We've got our arm and hook here, clamped down on our wheel, and we've got a ratcheting wheel strap back here in the back that'll help keep our rear wheel in place with a padded rubber piece here that's going to help protect our wheel as we get it tightened down. Now there are a couple other cool features with it, one of which is that each of our posts is going to have an integrated cable lock that's going to allow you to wrap your bike up and get it locked through our key that goes under here. And it's also going to be key-to-like to the anti-rattle hitch lock mechanism, which we'll be showing you a little bit later in the vehicle. And Thule has what's called a one-key system, meaning that Thule locks can be swapped out so that they can be key-to-like to other Thule accessories. So for instance, if you have a roof rack that has a key system to it, maybe a roof box, same thing, you have the opportunity to get them all key-to-like and just reduce the size of your keychain basically and cause a lot less confusion. You'll know that if you have a Thule key in your hand, you'll be able to get into your Thule accessory. So let's take a look at how this bike rack fits with the terrain. Now for a frame of reference, the bike that we have on here is a large frame bike and it has 15-inch wide handlebars. So it's got a pretty big frame, but I wanted to give you that frame of reference so you can compare it with your bike that you have at home. But the first thing you'll notice is that there is plenty of room between the vehicle and the bike itself. Even if we were on a rougher piece of road, we're really not in any danger of these making contact with each other. But like with any hitch-mounted bike rack, there are going to be some obstructions in the back of the vehicle visually. First and foremost, this bike rack does keep the bike pretty high off the ground, so you're going to see a lot of it out of your rear window. We're going to have some partial obstruction to our license plate, as well as both of our taillights. Now, because of that obstruction, specifically to the rear view camera, it's a really good idea to know what kind of footprint this is leaving behind your bumper. So from the bumper to the furthest point on the rack, we are right at 36 inches. So just bear in mind, you've got an extra 3 feet behind your bumper here that you're going to have to account for whenever you're backing into a tight space or trying to parallel park. We're also going to take a look at our ground clearance. Now normally I would do it from right here, but we've got this bumper that kind of hangs down as well. So I'm going to take a measurement of both, and we've got about a 16-inch clearance to this bumper at the bottom here, and the furthest point of the bike rack ends up being about 18.5 inches. Now that's a pretty decent amount of ground clearance, but it does come pretty far away from the bumper, and that kind of angle, you know, it does have a possibility to bottom out only because of how far away it is. But generally speaking, that's a lot of ground clearance, and it's just something you want to keep in mind when you're coming upon a steep incline or driveway. Now, the other thing I had mentioned too is that this bike rack offers a 60-pound weight capacity per tray. There is not any ramp assist loading system, anything like that. So whatever your bike weighs, make sure that you're comfortable getting it up to a height of about 21 inches in order to load it onto the bike rack. So one of the most common questions we get when it comes to a hitch bike rack is, will you have access into your cargo area? And in this case, we certainly will. We're going to come right down here with this handle where we have a trigger mechanism. We'll brace the bike frame as such, pull that in, and we'll slowly lower it away from the vehicle. We'll come around here, open up our lift gate, and we've got plenty of clearance. Even with the bike with this wide of handlebars, we really have plenty of clearance to get in and out of our cargo area. So now, without removing the bike from the rack, we're able to get in here, load up on our water, equipment, grab our helmet, whatever it may be. Or maybe on the way home from the trail, you decide to stop and do some grocery shopping or something. Now we can get you loaded up without having to go through the nuisance of taking the bike off the rack and getting it back on. And in order to get it back up into its driving position, we don't need to engage the latch mechanism here. All we really need to do is lift up against it. We'll hear that click, and we're back up in its riding position and ready to get on the road. So in order to remove the bike from the rack is a really, really simple process. We really only have those two contact points, our wheel strap on the rear wheel and our hook up here on the front wheel. So when unloading, we're going to first do the wheel strap. And in order to do that, we're just going to come back here, depress this button. It's going to release our strap to where we can feed it through our wheel and clear it out the other side. Next, we'll come up here to our post and hook. There is a trigger button right here. We're going to grab onto our bike by the frame, depress that trigger, and lift our hook up and clear the wheel. Now at this point, we're able to come around, lift our bike off the rack, and now we're ready to hit the trail. Now, when you don't have a bike on here, we've still got this 3 feet extra hanging off of the bumper, but we can reduce that really, really easily. It does have a stowaway position. We're going to operate that same latch mechanism here, but instead of letting it fall away from the vehicle, we're going to lift up against it until it clicks into place. Now we're up in our stowaway position, and we're going to significantly reduce that footprint behind the bumper. In fact, we're going from 36 inches all the way down to 14 inches. So we've more than cut that in half by quite a bit, a significant reduction. There's still some back here that you're going to have to take account for, because while we've regained visibility out of our rear window and other drivers are going to be able to clearly see our taillights, we do still have an obstruction over our license plate and our rear view camera. So it's still important to understand that you've got, almost 1.5 feet back here that you're going to have to account for. While we have it up in the stowaway position and it's pretty easy to see, this is the hitch lock anti-rattle mechanism that I had mentioned earlier that's going to be key-to-like to your integrated cable locks. The way this will work is once you get it into the hitch and lined up, you can turn it to tighten. It's going to expand inside of your hitch receiver so that it gets rid of all that slop that would be in there, and it really makes it sturdy. It's going to make for a quieter ride. It's going to be a lot more comfortable on you as the driver and your bike. And while we're also back here, I should mention too that the stowaway position is a really nice thing to have for this. Especially if you ride a lot, you're probably not going to want to be taking this in and out of the hitch too often, because this bike rack does weigh well over 50 pounds. It does have an integrated wheel system though, so on those times when you do need to remove it from the hitch for one reason or another, it's really easy to maneuver along the ground and get stored wherever you need it to. So there's a look at the Thule T2 Pro XTR on our 2024 GMC Terrain. Now, if after watching this video you decide that this is going to be the bike rack for you and you have the opportunity to get it and use it for a little bit, we'd love to hear what you think about it in the comments below. Sharing your story with other neighbors is going to help them make the best decision for themselves. Once again, this is Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.